If you have been following our video on Igbo history, you'll find out that there are many approaches in which many Igbo communities used in resisting the colonial rule. But the one of Nri Kingdom is quite different because their approach is different from every other Igbo community approach against colonial rule. So if you join me to the end of this video, we are going to dive into it. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. The Nri objection or resistance to colonial rule is one that is rarely talked about in the history of Nigeria, but it's one of the most important Nigeria or Igbo resistance to colonial domination. The Nri Kingdom, which is now located in what we call the southern part of Nigeria, is one of the oldest and most spiritually significant Igbo institutions. They were not known for any military conquest, rather they were known for their ritual authority, cultural influence, and sacred kinship. The Eze Nri is perceived as a divine figure and a spiritual leader who has influence or whose influence span across many Igbo communities. Now, when the British began expanding their control into Igbo territory in the 20th century, they met different types of opposition from a lot of Igbo communities. But unlike other Igbo groups or Igbo communities that used military opposition or forced opposition, the Nri people or the Nri Kingdom used a different approach. They used spiritual, ideological, and cultural approach against British control. Even when it comes to the British indirect rule of using the warren chiefs to control and govern the people, it clashed with the Nri people's traditional structure of how they govern themselves, which is centralized or hereditary political authority. So the people saw this very warren chief system of governance as illegitimate and corrupt. Just like many Igbo communities, the Nri people, led by their priest king, Eze Nri Abalike, did not accept colonial rule easily. The Eze Nri himself did not participate in anything that symbolizes submission to the British authority, including paying homage or accepting foreign imposed authorities. So the British people saw this spiritual defiance as a challenge to their power. So what they did is that in 1911 they summoned the Eze Nri to Oka, and under pressure he was forced to undergo certain activities and ritual that symbolizes submission to the British authority, including swearing an oath of loyalty. So the Nri elders saw this as a violation of their sacred tradition. So after that encounter, the British authorities went ahead or moved to suppress the influence of the Nri people. Of course, you know that when the king of a people is being put under such humiliating processes, the people will be scared for their lives. So the British authorities moved ahead to undermine the influence and the authority of Nri Kingdom over many communities. So one of the strategies that they used was that they promoted Christianity, introduced Western education, and also supported the warren chiefs. So the effect of this is that the traditional rituals, sacred festivals, and priestly authorities that are tied to Nri were gradually weakened. But anyway, as usual, the memory of Nri resistance to colonial rule still lived on among people who value Igbo traditional religion. One thing that stands out in Nri objection or resistance against colonial rule is that it does not have to do with guns or armies. It has to do with a people defending a worldview, a spiritual order, or cultural identity. So it goes to say that most times resistance doesn't have to be open rebellion or doesn't have to look like open rebellion. Sometimes it is quiet, symbolic, and deeply rooted in tradition. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do not forget to share your thoughts, as I'm always going through the comment section to read your thoughts. And also subscribe to this channel so that you will be the first to be notified anytime we drop a video. Like this video so that YouTube can show it to more people. Thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. Please don't forget to also share. My name is Uche and this is Gist TV.